Good morning. That's looks better. Sorry for the delay. Slight late start this morning. Clearly losing track of time. Never mind days as well. And look, if you can't catch this live anyway, you can of course catch up and watch it anytime. So, there's a couple of people with us already. That's great. Sorry for the wait, guys. So I wanted to bring Sun Salutations into these home practice sessions, and I think it's a really important tool that offers the ability to move the whole body within the space. Basically, it's the small space of your yoga mat. Anyone who's done Sun Salutations before would, or maybe already know, that they can be quite tiring. They can be very warming, and that is actually one of the purposes of a Sun Salutation. Expect to feel invigorated, energized, mentally stimulated as well as physically. So it can really perk you up if you're feeling a little bit low. On a physical level, it offers the chance to strengthen around the legs, the shoulders in particular. It provides a test of your coordination as well. The Sun Salutation practice is heavily connected to the way we're breathing, the pattern of the breath. So you're going to coordinate your breath with the movements. So expect to feel like basically a whole well-being effect from the postures. So we will start by breaking down the postures in a simple way to make it easier to then connect the postures together. So very simply, I hope you can see me okay over here. Yes, you can. That's great. So basically, we're going to start in mountain pose. In fact, I'll face you to start with. And mountain pose is a fairly simple looking posture, but like all the postures, it does take a bit of coordination and awareness in order to be able to handle the postures effectively. So spread out the toes, create the foundation mountain pose, suggesting that you're steady at the base, you're strong, you're firm, you're elevated. So make the legs firm, engage the legs, feel like you can gently pull up the kneecaps or make what feels like the thighs firming up. So they should feel firm to the touch. And as you do that, you might also feel the buttocks do the same. So firm buttocks as well. So the foundation is strong, the legs are straight and engaged. And the hands reaching down, fingertips towards the floor, and encourage the shoulders to stay back and down as well. Crown of the head reaching up, the very top part of the skull reaching upwards, long neck. And so in mountain pose, we're taking some time to prepare. So we're preparing the posture, preparing with the breath as well. So the breath in and out through the nose as much as you can. Mountain pose. So this is the first posture of the sequence. The second posture of the sequence is extended mountain pose. So legs the same, but the difference is, of course, we're extending the arms up overhead. So you feel like you're basically getting a little bit more length through the spine, through the ribs, and through the arms. Try to keep the shoulders down from the ears. You could look up if that feels okay for the neck, but it's not essential. So this is extended mountain pose. From here, we're going to swim or dive down. And as you're folding down, bend the knees and try to fold at your hip creases as much as you can. You're trying to bring the abdomen close to the thighs and then reach down with the hands. And for some of you, that will be the legs. Some of you will be able to get the feet or maybe even get the floor, whether it's the floor either side of the feet or further out in front, whatever feels the easiest to connect to the first few times that you try this. I like to bring the hands either side of the feet. Inhale, keeping the legs slightly bent, look forward. So feel that you can lengthen the spine forward, gaze forward. And this is called gazing pose. So elongating the spine, including the neck. And then we're going to bend the knees a little bit more if you need to bring the hands to the mat. So if they're not on the floor already, bringing the hands down. And then stepping back with the feet. So as you're stepping back, you're going to put weight into your hands and bringing your shoulders over your wrists. Now this is plank. This is pretty tough. This is not actually strictly part of the Sun Salutation sequence, but it's more of a transition. So we don't want to rush it, but what's worth doing is when you're working into building the strength in your arms for Sun Salutations is to bring the knees down, to do a half plank. So you can do a full plank or a half plank. I'm going to demonstrate the half plank for the first few rounds, and you'll be able to figure out what's best for yourself. Shoulders over the wrists, directly over. Try to keep a straight line between the shoulders and, in this case, the knees. Try not to pitch the hips up or pitch the hips low. And the same goes for the movement when we're moving to the mat. So slowly and carefully, keeping the elbows in and the shoulders from the ears, see if you can guide the hips and chest to land on the floor at the same time. That's the hard part, right? From here, untuck the toes. Inhale and bring the chest forward. So in this variation, I'm going to demonstrate Cobra. Cobra is a nice way to do a little bit of a back bend without overstraining the spine if you're not so familiar with this kind of movement. So the heart comes forward and the shoulders down from the ears, and the hips in this case on the floor as well. Elbows into the ribs, and then lower a little bit so you can now press up to the hands and knees. Again, check that the knees are, that the wrists are under the shoulders, and then bring the knees underneath the hip joints. And as you bring the knees under the hips, tuck the toes. And now we're going to press to lift the knees off the floor. Lift the knees, keeping the knees bent, press the chest back. And then if your legs allow, your hamstrings allow, you can get the legs a little bit straighter, but don't feel that they have to be straight. The chest pressing back towards the thighs, the arms straight. Wide across the back of the shoulders, between the shoulder blades, widening to give space around the neck and ears. And steady breaths. So we take a pause here in the downward dog posture. If you're very, very new to this posture and it feels pretty intense for you, move into it, hold it for 2 or 3 breaths. You can always rest down with the knees. You can go back into it if you need to, without holding it for any long duration initially. It's pretty intense when you're new to this, a lot of weight in your arms and hands, so working out what feels appropriate for your practice. And you'll see, if you ever watched any other videos or if you look at Sun Salutation guides, they will perhaps show you lots of various ways to travel forward. Okay, traveling forward. In fact, the traveling between postures is just as challenging as the postures themselves, if not more. And so what I like to do in the initial stages of teaching people this sequence is to say, okay, bring the knees down, and then we can look to lunge or step the feet forward, and that helps to be able to get used to the lunging action without the effort of trying to get the hands at the foot initially. So what I mean is you're going to bring the right foot forward, use your right hand as appropriate to drag the foot all the way to the hands. And be sure to bring the foot back to the top of the mat, so where you started really, rather than bringing the hands back. So it's going to force you to extend the reach of the foot and leg forward. You're in a long position to do this. Front, the back toes, lift the back knee, and then forward. And bring the feet hip width apart. So you're back at the start point. The hands are low, knees slightly bent, and then the chest lifts. Gaze forward again, gazing pose. So actually the exit part of the sequence is the same as the entry. in reverse. So we're going to fold now down into the legs. Again, legs bent, especially if you're new to this or if you're quite tight in the legs. And then we're going to rise up to stand. So weight to the feet only. Slowly rise or swim the arms up in reverse. Extend the arms up overhead. Extended mountain pose. And then in this case, we're going to bring the hands to the chest as we breathe out. Back in to mountain. Okay. So we'll move through the sequence again. Practice, of course, helps you to become more familiar with the order of the postures. So breathing in as you reach up. So breathing in as you reach up. And then breathing out as you fold down. So again, soft around the knees, folding, reaching to wherever you can connect the hands, and then tuck the chin as if you're looking through the legs. Keep the hands down in place and then gaze forward. This is in-breath as you gaze forward. As you breathe out, bend the knees more to bring the hands flat to the floor, stepping back, maybe just initially for a moment into that high plank position, but then lowering the knees to the floor. Let's breathe in at the top of this half plank. And so breathing out as you guide your chest and hips to the floor. Untuck the toes. Cobra, so breathe in to cobra. So inhale as the chest comes forward and slightly up. And breathing out to press back onto the knees, hands and knees. Tuck the toes. Hover the knees. And breathing out to downward dog again. So repeating the pattern, repeating the sequence will, of course, get you warmer. The body will get more familiar with the postures. And you might find that as you're moving through a few times that you feel that the posture changes a little bit, or you experience the posture in a slightly different way. Maybe you can lift the hips higher, or maybe the legs go a little bit straighter without forcing them. Of course, you might also feel tired, so bear that in mind as well as you're progressing through the sequence. Let's take one more breath in through the nose. And then out through the nose. And we're going to lower the knees down again. So we're going to practice the lunging forward, but we're going to switch sides. So let's step the left foot forward. And again, you can use your left hand to drag the left foot to the top of the mat, back to the starting point. The hands are still in the same place as well. Tuck the back toes and lunge or stretch to bring the right foot forward. So the feet hip width. Folded position, knees slightly bent. Inhale, chest forward. So inhale as you look forward to gaze slightly ahead. And then exhale as you fold. Folding in. Looking to the space between the legs. And then breathe in to rise and stand. Reaching all the way up. And then exhale as you bring the hands to chest. Okay, so give yourself a moment. We are going to repeat this again. I'm going to show you some slightly stronger options for those people that want a little bit more, a little bit stronger postures. So just to recap, and maybe it's obvious, but when you're reaching up, generally upwards is an in-breath. Downwards is an out-breath. And also forwards, so forwards or upwards is an in-breath. And backwards and downwards and backwards is an out-breath. Okay, so upwards and forwards, inhale, and down and backwards towards the back of your mat is an exhale. The other thing you want to try and do, and this does take a bit of practice, is to think about this start point, your mountain pose, and where your feet are as your home position. Okay, so what we're trying to do is establish where the feet go, and then as we fold down, where the hands go. And each time we're coming forward, we're coming back to the home position. So we want to keep coming back to the start rather than migrate towards the back of the mat, because I see that quite a lot, and it's very easy to do without even realizing it. But basically, you want to always ensure that you're coming back to the same place in your mat. Okay, so let's stand tall with the feet hip width apart, spread the toes, mountain pose, reach the fingers down, shoulders down and back, reach up through the spine, through the top of the head. Breathe in, reach up. And fold at the hips, breathe out, fold down, reach down to where you can with the hands. Look through the legs. Inhale, gaze forward, like a halfway lift. And then exhale, press into the hands, feet back. And then gently lowering down to the mat. Inhale, cobra, heart forward. And exhale as you press back to the hands and knees. And then you can tuck the toes and travel back to downward dog. Just stay here for 5 breaths. 5 breaths is a good amount of time to be in the posture and be still in the posture, experience the sensation. It's enough time to slow your breath down gradually. If you find your heart rate rises, your breath might get a little bit faster. So breathing slowly if you can, or slowing it down. Use the nose to breathe out. And it's enough time to build a bit of strength around the arms without over exhaustion. And it's a nice focus. So counting the breaths when you get to your downward dog. So from here, look forward. Now you can, of course, bring your knees down and step the right foot, or you might be more familiar and you might want to practice this, is to step the right foot between the hands without the knees down. So you can practice the lunging action of bringing the right foot forward. And again, we're going to do alternate sides to get the legs balanced and even. Both feet forward. The feet hip width. Inhale, lift the chest. Breathe out, fold. Breathe in, rise. Reach overhead. Exhale. Hands to chest. Second side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale as you step back to that high plank. Breathe out to lower to the mat. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale. And press to the hands and knees. Tuck the toes. And downward dog. 5 breaths. Settle the breath down. Checking as you're here that the feet are hip width apart, still in downward dog. Your legs are slightly bent, your hips lifting high. And the arms are straight, hands are shoulder width apart, your shoulder width. And keeping the elbows straight. Look forward. Inhale as you travel the left foot forward, whatever means you need to get there. And then the right foot forward and lift the chest to gaze forward. Breathe out as you fold back into the legs. Breathe in as you rise up. Breathe out, hands to chest. Inhale, let's go again. Reach up. Exhale, fold. Halfway inhale. Exhale as you step back to plank. If you're feeling a little more confident and you want to try to keep your hips in line with your shoulders and heels. You can lower down without bringing the knees to the floor. Slowly. Inhale, cobra again. Heart forward. Exhale and press back to downward dog. 5 breaths. Look forward, right foot to the top. Left foot as you lift the chest, breathe in. Breathe out, fold. Breathe in, rise. Breathe out, hands to chest. Second side, inhale. Exhale. Halfway, gaze forward, inhale. Exhale, travel the feet back. Half plank if you need to, of course. Breathing out as you gradually lower down to the mat. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale as you press back. All the way to downward dog. Try to think about how you're moving the weight away from your hands. So as you push the hands into the floor, you want to feel that you're pushing your chest closer to your thighs. Try and relax the neck here as well to find a little bit of ease around the shoulder area, neck area, heavy head, relaxed face. And again, slowing the breath down. And I say about 5 breaths. If your breath is very fast, like I say, try and slow it down, but it's probably better to take more breaths than it is to hold your breath. So whilst I'm holding you in this posture, take more breaths if needed. Let's exit, look forward, inhale, left foot. Then right, of course, lift the chest, inhale. Breathe out, fold. Breathe in, rise to stand. Exhale, hands to chest. Let's go again, a little bit faster with the breath. So inhale up, exhale, fold down. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, plank. And lower to the mat. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, downward dog. 5 breaths. Inhaling here, breathing all the way out. And then when you're breathing in, it's right foot forward, left foot forward, the chest lifts. Fold, breathe out. Breathe in, rise. Breathe out, hands to chest. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale as you step back again. Breathe in at the top. Exhale to the mat. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale. Downward dog. Steady breaths in and out through the nose. Left side, inhale. Both feet to the top, lift the chest. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, rising all the way up. And exhale, the hands to the chest. Okay, take a breather, take a pause. See how we're doing. Oh yeah, we got some people on now, that's great. We're going to take another couple of rounds. And I'm going to instruct the breath mainly more than the postures, okay? So I know some of you will already know the postures. Some of the go to our classes. We do Sun Salutations quite a lot. So if that's useful, because I think actually once you're familiar with the postures, And you can just focus on breath, and it feels more like a sort of a moving, flowing meditation, which is one of the purposes anyway. So let's come to the top of the mat again. Prepare, feet hip width apart, stand tall. And inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, plank. Exhale to the mat. Inhale, hop forward. Exhale, downward dog. The other thing you can do here in downward dog is catch up. So if you're a little bit slower than my instruction, which is quite common when you're new to this, it takes a bit more time to move into postures. This is a nice catch-up point. It's also a nice rest point if you feel that you're getting tired in your arms. Stay with your breath. Inhale, right, then left. Step up. Chest lifts. Fold, breathing out. Rise, breathing in. Hands to chest, breathing out. Inhale. Exhale. Halfway, inhale. Exhale, plank. Half or full plank. Lowering as you breathe out to the floor. Breathe in, hop forward. Breathe out. Downward dog. Left side, inhale. Right side, lift. Exhale, fold. Breathe in, rise up. Exhale, hands to chest. Okay. So you are, of course, more than welcome to continue practicing the sequence and see if you can learn the order. Once you've done it a few times, actually, it becomes very second nature. And certainly there's great benefit in learning the order. So it becomes less of a mental practice. It becomes just the physical experience of being on your mat. It's a great way to practice yoga. If you're somebody who wants to practice at home, wants to establish a home practice, gets their yoga mat out and thinks, actually, I'm not sure what to do, this is a great place to start. So a sun salutation in itself is an entire yoga practice. It's not the only way to practice yoga, but it's in itself is it's self-sustaining. You're able to practice it and offer everything to the body that the body needs: the movement, the breath, the stretch, the strength, the coordination, the balance, etc. So thank you for your practice. If you're going to continue, go ahead. If you do continue, then obviously do as many as you feel comfortable to move to. We tend to do about 6 or so in the classes. You can do more. You can do many, many more if you want to. The other thing to consider is after you do finish, and if you're finished now, if this is your end with me, then you can also take some time to relax as well. So when you do finish, let the body rest, take some space to become still, and allow the breath to slow back down again as well. So thank you for your practice, sun salutations this morning. Take care. Have a great day.